I'm here with Spec columnist Steve Milton. And Steve, I know it's only been one day of training camp, but what were your first impressions?
Well, the very first thing that strikes you is the aggressiveness that's spread. I mean, they were really working on that last year and partly the year before, the aggressiveness and, of course, the emphasis on the defensive backfield and the changes they're going to make there, not just personnel, because I'm not sure that it'll completely change a defensive backfield. You're going to have a couple of guys in there, particularly Jerome Dennis, that are going to be the same as last year, but it's the type of defense that they're going to play.
And that looks like it's going to be a much more man-to-man style defense. Is that fair to say?
I would say that's fair to say, and that's the knee bone being connected to the thigh bone. If you've got a guy like Stevie Baggs, you got to make sure if he's pressuring the quarterback that he can't throw to a softly covered guy, and I felt that happened an awful lot last year because of the type of defense they play, the bend don't break. So you put the pressure on. Remember all of the almosts last year. Well, this year those are going to be sacks or incomplete passes, not kind of, well, we almost got him and he completed 6 because the guy was off 6. They're playing them, like they're in their hip pocket now. And every drill that they do on defense is designed to have something to do with man-to-man. I was watching one where they showed them how to put their hand through on this, the hip drill, where you put your hand on the hip so you always know where the guy is. And the guys like it. The defensive guys like it, and the offensive guys like that fact that it's man-on-man.
This team, is a veteran team that has a number of areas where, we know where guys are going to start. We know who the 3 linebackers are going to be. We know who the starting quarterback is going to be. At the same time, there's going to be some competition. And this team has shown a willingness to get rid of veteran players.
Well, I think they made the changes not to send messages, but messages were sent. Right. Big time. When you cut guys like Sandro and Otis and people that were really core parts of the team, especially Otis with his, like we were writing in the spec, there hasn't been a lot of sentimentality. It's professional football. They can't be. So unless you're Markeith Milton, unless you're JJ, unless you're the quarterback and maybe the center, don't be taking it too easy here, and practice counts. One thing that started last year was the number of catches that were made, great catches, and it became an expectation. And yes, there were a few guys, but a lot of those guys got cut. I mean, Marquette McDaniel is a guy who had 1,000 yards, 998 last year, and his job was in jeopardy. Why? Because he had some drops. Well, that is increased this year. That is an evolution over time, where it's not like a big change, but this has been coming bit by bit, and boy, you saw it, how many great catches there were out today, and on offense and defense. So I consider that part of an evolution, and you see that all over this team. Little bit of step forward here, a little bit of step there. Some place it's like having a tooth extracted, and you got to put a filler in it, and we're seeing that on kicking, right? Where they've lost the guy. They thought they had the guy for 3 years. Now they're not back to square one because they have a couple of proven guys there. I think Wilbur's going to give Medlock a little bit of a run for his money on that.
I'm Drew Edwards for the Hamilton Spectator. Make sure you check out Steve's column on Monday as well as full coverage from training camp.